The cadets hit the racetrack for the last of their heat races, led out onto the racetrack by Grant Heckman, the 222. Again, undefeated so far today. Clean sweep up to this point. Starts alongside Hank Lai, Ruben Greer. The furthest up we're going to see him start as one driver goes around. That's the 98 of Mason Poole. And the MGM, Maddox Nieves, starts on row number 2 with Spencer Height, Tom Gagnon. Mason Poole, Cooper DePontes, Joshua Pochlepek, and Mateo Romeo on row number 5. Beckley Anderson and Alex Schomer, with Skylan Mangrum starting 13th in the field. Heat race number 3 for your cadets getting set to go green. We got the green flag. We go racing a side by side. Heckman into the grass, has to go off the racetrack and rejoins. Hank Lai was side by side with him, and he's going to take over the lead of the race. Now as it all changes, as Spencer Height gets himself up to second from 5th on the grid.
Still not done. Look at Height. Dives underneath, takes it away, and comes a question here. Does that count as a course cut with that much of a shed, or does that factor in, you think, with the time loss for Heckman in terms of if there's a penalty or not?
Now we'll see how it all plays out, especially after the race, and we'll leave that up to the race officials. Do with that what they will. Good thing that's not our job. Is now they're fighting for third, is side by side, and just like that, Maddox Nieves is able to get himself clear for third. And again, how about the rookie? Now up to third. Talk about Ruben Greer. Where did he finish at the end of that first lap? He's still down in what looked to be 5th, maybe even a little bit further back than that. We'll keep an eye here. No, and I think indeed, so Ruben Greer is in that 5th spot, chasing down Grant Heckman, who's looking to go back on Nieves on the inside, which turned into the outside, able to get a better run than Maddox. And Heckman is back up to third as the top 3 close together. Spencer Height going to lead them away with Hank Lai right behind him. Heckman with new life in third. Nieves and Ruben Greer now into the 5th spot with the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, we're talking about this a little bit, where I think there's a chance Greer comes away with this if he's able to keep focus. What do you say about a mindset like that? Because we've seen Greer charge from the back now, get to the mid-pack, now seems to be in contention. Where do you see that mindset to actually get around these cars from your perspective to be able to get this done with 4 fast cars in front?
Well, things change, right? You kind of look at the heat races earlier on in the day. Ruben Greer was misplaced. You look where he finished at the Grand Nationals last year, right? Finished third, finished on the podium. And you look here this weekend, was misplaced after the qualifying session after heat race number 1, and has had to work his way through slower traffic. Now you get to the top 4, the front runners, drivers that are just as fast as you. So it all changes, right? Those moves that were easy to make throughout the first couple of heat races, it's not going to be the same with drivers that have the same speed and, if not, have been faster than you throughout the weekend. And as I say that, Spencer Height out in front, sets the fastest lap of the race, is now Heckman up and over the curb, looking to go for second side by side with Hank Lai. And again, these two drivers going at it. Heckman looking to go again on the inside, side by side on the front stretch, trying to cross him up. And he needs to be careful with how much he wants to fight here for second, because something like this can happen as Maddox Nieves looking to go right back on him in a third.
Kind of tell some of the frustration maybe starting to build up with Heckman with how aggressive the battles are. Already though, I'm going full defensive, everyone going full defensive. And you race yourself, correct me if I'm wrong, Kill. Does that red mist settle in a situation where you have to push off the track like that, or how do you get yourself calmed down? How did you get yourself calmed down in a race situation like this?
Well, it just depends on taking a deep breath, right? Whenever you are in the situation like that, you go off the track at the start of the race, you know you could be leading this race. You've won everything throughout the day. Just taking a deep breath as that happens and resettling yourself, keeping a cool head, keeping a level head. You are going to be obviously quite frustrated, angry, trying to make moves, trying to get back to where you know you should be, and that's up at the top, up in the first spot, leading this race, having control of it. It's just taking a deep breath, settling in, staying relaxed, not letting that pressure get to you. That's the hardest thing to do, and that's something you don't really learn until you kind of starts to settle into the racing. Once you get older, you can master that at a young age, turn into a great driver in the future. For Heckman, still you see him starting to settle in, starting to try and catch his footing once again, staying in line, staying in the tow. Just let the action in front of you ensue. Again, you are running out of time because we're starting lap number 7. 4 laps to go here, as Spencer Height gonna lead them all away. But this is good right now for Heckman. Settling in, taking a deep breath, and rethinking where you're gonna go, what hasn't worked, what has worked throughout the weekend, and trying to pick back up. As Romeo now makes a move further back, the reigning Kit Kart Grand National Champion gets himself up to 8th. As there it is for Heckman, and you see that, settling in, finding that footing. You tried that move 2 times already. The 3rd time was the charm for him. Gets himself clear, tried it, reset, and now puts himself back in a single file line, looking to go for the 2nd spot here in a couple of moments. We'll see how it all fans out, but again, the 48 of Hank Lai, we've seen him try already on Spencer Hyde, as Nieves looked to go right back for 3rd. Wasn't close enough. As Ruben Greer still sits in 5th. Another driver that you talked about, you touched upon already in this race, Justin. He's sitting patient, trying to bide his time, letting action ensue in front of him. Those last 2 laps are going to be critical because this is the closest that we've had all these drivers so far this weekend.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm noticing about all this, with dives like Heckman's, he's willing to do stuff different. Most of this field has not made passes in the Little Bowl sections today. Heckman, the only one willing to do so, and has been able to make some moves down to the front straightaway section. With 2 laps to work with here, I think Heckman is catching all these drivers off guard, and you would have to say, part of the key, doing the unexpected. You can't repeat the same point over and over and expect the same results. It takes a lot of effort, and Heckman seems to be ready to just peel drivers off when they take the arc.
Yeah, and watch this. It's already been about 2 moves in a row that Heckman's done throughout the same corner. We'll see if he can do it again. And again, he wasn't close enough this time by to Spencer Height. So with the final lap, white flag should fly this time by. Grant Heckman was in the grass at the start of this race. Now looking to go back up to the front as one driver goes around. That's Maddox Nieves. Nieves in the 23 around in turn number 2. He's going to be out of contention all the way down, I believe, almost on the edge of the top 10. Is now Heckman going to open up. But here comes Lai looking on the inside as Heckman looking around the outside. Looking to get the same move he did in heat race number 2 with the high side with Spencer Hyde on the inside. Heckman looking to hold on. What a move out of Grant Heckman in the lead of the race.
How in the world did Heckman make that stick? He's the first driver all day to make it from the outside of the bowl. Coming on through, a poke once again for Height. It's going to be Heckman by 67 one-thousandths of a second. I am shocked. How difficult is that to make it stick? You're talking about up near the marbles there, Caleb.
Grant Heckman, and again, that's a topic that we talked about, right? It was desperation right after the incident, trying to make moves back-to-back, settling in for about 2 laps, and lap after lap hit his marks and was able to get moves done pretty much consecutively from 4 to the lead. In a matter of about 4 laps, Grant Heckman goes back to the top and sweeps Friday night at the CKNA Winter Nationals here in Jacksonville. What a drive for the 222 to get it done here in Cadet.